I knew going into this film that it was bad, but I didn't think it'd be this bad. It's doing so well at the box office, but despite the awful reviews, I suppose it doesn't really matter what you do with franchises these days. The name has a recognition, it's gonna make a lot of money. Hence why this movie is so lazy and horribly written. So, Jurassic World Dominion tries to kind of right the wrongs of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom by going to the last-ditch effort and bringing back all the original characters like Ellie, Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm, and Dodson. You remember him, right? No.
See, nobody cares.
It's pretty clear from this sequel that anything remotely related to the original is completely gone, such as likable characters, well-written story, a point. They're all extinct. I think the message of this film is family, so the rumors might be true of a Fast and Furious crossover with Jurassic Park in the future. Vin Diesel is gonna step out of nowhere and chop off the T-Rex's head. You guys got a family, I got a family, so let's team up with our families and we can go to space and race cars on Mars. How do you make a plot that should be so simple, so complicated? The story going into this film should have just been dinosaurs have been let loose in the real world. They're no longer on the park because of stupid clone girl from Fallen Kingdom deciding to just let them all out. How's the world adapting to dinosaurs? Like, that is the story that you should be going with. But instead, this film decides it's just gonna go with this weird storyline about locusts that no one cares about. Stick to dinosaurs, Jurassic Park. That's all you have to do. It seems hell-bent on bringing back things that never worked in any of the sequels. The exciting premise of the dinosaurs being amongst the humans outside of a park is quickly destroyed within the first 5 minutes of this film, in a massive exposition dump of what's happening. The film decides a news report is the best way to open a Jurassic Park film. Yeah, that's right. Remember Jurassic Park 1, how they started off with a velociraptor killing someone? The Lost World started off with a kid being attacked, kind of implying that maybe she was even killed by these little mini dinosaurs. Yeah, now we have a news flash with all the highlights that were in the trailer. Dinosaurs are living alongside us and we're just kind of chill about it because we got most of the dinosaurs. All the dinosaurs have been moved to a sanctuary, so this film just pretty much moves the dinosaurs from one park to another. The only interesting thing about Fallen Kingdom was that ending. But the movie decides we don't have the balls to go all the way with that idea. So instead we just get a little bit of dinosaurs here and there in certain small kind of areas. It's a real slap in the face to anyone that actually sat through Fallen Kingdom and then felt excited about that next sequel after the ending, because it felt like an intriguing plot. There were so many ways for this film to do something different to any other sequel. That was what it had going on for it. But quickly we realized that is not the case. I can honestly say, this film has the worst opening sequence of any Jurassic Park film. It's a reoccurring pattern with this film in that it does everything the worst of any other sequel in the entire franchise. So Clone Girl, I don't even know her name, she let out the dinos and caused all of this chaos going on in this film. Yet everyone just accepts that this girl did that, there's no repercussions for her. Like, if anything, why do we, the audience, like her after that? She's put, like, millions of people at risk. And it's a continuing thing in this film where I did not care about this clone girl at all. The fact that they've implemented cloning, it always felt out of place for me. In Fallen Kingdom, I didn't like it. No one liked it, no one was interested in it, and that is no different in this film. The other thing about this movie is the dialogue is atrocious. There were so many key moments that I was actually laughing out loud. Like gut-bustingly laughing at the cringe. For example, Clone Girl is struggling to accept that she is a real person and not just a clone of a real person. Claire says to Clone Girl, "You are the only you there ever was." This film has like a budget of $200 million. You just couldn't write better lines. The other thing about this franchise, they started this whole thing of Owen's character, played by Chris Pratt. He's a raptor expert. He's trained the raptors. I thought this stuff was pretty dumb back in Jurassic World. Obviously, being that it was the stupidest thing in Jurassic World, they had to continue building on that. Chris Pratt continues to have superpowers where he can make dinos stop by raising his hand. He now legit talks to raptors at points, like has a full conversation with them. At one point, I thought a raptor was going to talk. Here we see Owen making promises to a raptor called Blue that he will find his baby and rescue it. I never cared about Blue, and this movie continues to make out like I should care about Blue, but I don't care. And there'll be all these opportunities and moments where Owen will tell everyone, okay, we gotta save Blue and Blue's baby raptor called Beta. We need to save them. Why? It's a raptor. Why are we saving a raptor? Remember when raptors in the first film were this huge threat? Alan Grant was holding a baby raptor and the audience knew, like, oh, this is bad. They're breeding raptors. Like, raptors are not good. Even this baby raptor was still something to be concerned about. This movie is like, nah, it's chill. Just put your hand up in front of his face, you're fine. Imagine if all those characters did was just raise their hand. So many lives could have been saved. The characters will sometimes react to them, but they're pretty inconsistent. So we as the audience don't give a shit about the dinosaurs. No build up, no tension of any kind. Seems like a big problem for a Jurassic Park movie, doesn't it? Another thing, this sequel probably has the least amount of dinosaur-related deaths compared to any other Jurassic Park movie I've ever seen. It creates this feeling like, why do I care? The dinosaurs never hurt anyone. They never hurt or wound anyone. They never kill anyone. There's probably like 2 or 3 deaths in this film, and all of them are characters that no one gives a shit about. So why the hell am I going to care about anything that happens in this movie? The other great thing about this film is it will purposely recreate a scene from the original Jurassic Park and make out like it's an amazing moment when it does not deserve any praise at all. Like, they actually have the nerve to recreate scenes shot for shot from the original. This film doesn't even know when to insert the John Williams score because there is no moment of wonder. This happened when, in Jurassic World, one of the kids opens up the blinds to reveal the park. So the park is now fully operational and we start hearing the iconic John Williams score. Why are we hearing the score? This is not a moment of awe or wonder. All we're seeing is a park with people. We don't see any dinosaurs in the shot. And if we do, they're very obscure. It's not an impressive shot, and it means nothing. When you hear that score in the original Jurassic Park, it was a key moment to marvel at the technological achievement of bringing dinosaurs back to life. Jurassic World tries to pretend like this is the same kind of moment of achievement, and it's not. So the same stuff happens in Dominion. Plenty of moments where you can tell the film thinks it's a special moment, but you as the audience are thinking, what the hell is so special about that? I was super excited to see Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern, since all 3 actors have not been together in any of the sequels. But the problem is, the story that justifies them being in this film makes no sense. The characters have very badly written lines. Ian Malcolm's probably the one exception. He has the only highlights because his dialogue actually addresses the stupidity of the story. And Jeff Goldblum's charisma and delivery pulls us through. The most exciting thing, the thing that I was holding on to going into this film, its whole saving grace, in fact, was Sam Neill. And as soon as Sam Neill opens his mouth, I was like, what the hell did they do to Sam Neill?
You didn't come out all this way just to catch up now, did you?
They get him to do this accent, or tried to get him to do an American accent. And I don't know why. Every time he talked, it sucked because I was distracted. So this film managed to ruin the only good thing I had going into it. It managed to ruin what should be so simple. What's literally the easiest thing to not screw up is have those characters on the screen. It's a shame too, because I love seeing Alan Grant, but the film wastes the original cast with a really crap story that has nothing to do with dinosaurs. Involves locusts. Yep, that's what I wanted to see. It's clear as day to the audience that the only reason these guys are even in the film is because they knew that was all they had going on. It's just a shame that for lifelong fans of the franchise, they'll feel like they've had their nostalgia pretty much stabbed in the heart. There are some great things I very much enjoyed about this film. Not to be too negative, but number 1, it was a great tourist ad for Malta. I want to go to Malta now because of all the drone shots of Malta. The other thing is, Bryce Dallas Howard is fantastic in this film. She's one of the only actors where when I looked at her, I felt like she was in danger, like she had something chasing her. She takes the dinosaurs as a threat, so it makes me want to care. There was a very key highlight of the film when she was creeping away from this particular dinosaur and she goes underwater. That was a good scene. I wanted that scene to go longer because that was one of the scenes where I had hope, where I was like, this is Jurassic Park. And that's one of the things that Steven Spielberg brilliantly does with his directing in the first two films. He takes his time, he builds up the suspense. Moments like Julianne Moore being on the window in The Lost World as the cracks were forming, those are awesome. Those are the moments that I love in a Jurassic Park film. The big hook dinosaur with this one is called the Gigasaurus, I think. Shit, I can't even remember. He's just a big dinosaur. Like, there's nothing unique looking about it. At least he doesn't have superpowers though, like the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World. Like, let's make a new dinosaur and just make it bigger with claws and fangs and shit. Like, eh. This film is also incredibly long. It goes for like 2 hours and 40 minutes. I don't know who it's appealing to. Adults don't want to watch a 2.5-hour Jurassic Park movie. The worst part is, it doesn't have to be that long. You could have taken the locust shit out and this would have been like an 1.5-hour movie. I think that as well, when a movie like this has a large demographic of young children, like, what kids are going to be entertained for a 2.5-hour movie? Like, Jurassic Park 3 goes for 90 minutes. That's like a sweet spot. I reckon 90 minutes. There's a big battle between the Gigantosaurus and the T-Rex, and it's pretty disappointing. It's ugly. It's in darkness at night, so you can't see anything, and it's just like a typical CGI mess. The worst part is no one cares. Like, even in Jurassic World, at least you cared about the big climactic battle because you wanted to see the Indominus Rex get defeated. He's the villain of that movie. As much as I hate Jurassic World, at least a dinosaur is the main villain. In this movie, we don't need to see this. We don't need to see the Gigantosaurus die. It's not important to the story. So we don't care. The battle was merely just a popcorn moment and just so the movie could end on a high note. I love in Jurassic Park 3 though, when the T-Rex and Spinosaurus battle, the Spinosaurus kills the T-Rex. Like, the film is saying this is the villain. This is the dinosaur that's gonna mess shit up and be chasing the heroes for the whole film. That was cool. That's what you should have borrowed from Jurassic Park 3. In this film, I was like, I don't even care if they kill this thing or not because it doesn't matter. Fight between the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3 is in daylight. You can see everything and it looks so much better. It was made over 20 years ago. Makes sense of that for me. Jurassic World Dominion is everything wrong with Hollywood. Hollywood reboots, franchises, sequels, all that crap. After reviewing something like Top Gun Maverick, this is the complete opposite of a great sequel. It does everything to go further into what doesn't work in any of the previous sequels and builds on all of that. It builds on plots that you did not care about and makes them worse. It doesn't set up anything. It doesn't pay off anything. It ruins legacy characters from the original film to the point where it literally is destroying everything you loved about the original film. This film goes for way too long. It's not fun. It's not interesting. The dinosaurs look like shit. I'm giving this film a 1 out of 5 stars. Avoid at all costs. If you are a hardcore Jurassic Park fan and you really need to see something, like, just skip it. Skip everything after Jurassic World. I could even argue skip Jurassic World in all honesty. Just go to a cinema that plays Jurassic Park and just rewatch that on a cinema screen. Even 2 and 3 at this point are a huge improvement. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed this, you can check out more reviews on my podcast at Movies Worth Seeing. Please comment below and let me know your favorite moments from the Jurassic Park franchise. Ciao.